Hello, everyone. I might be a couple of minutes early, but this is probably going to be a slightly longer video, so hopefully everyone will have a chance to tune in. We thought today that we would venture into the wildlife hospital and show you some of the baby animals we have in care. These are baby pigeons. Lucy, you want to tell us about them?
Yes, so we actually have been getting a lot of baby pigeons in the last week. Pigeons have babies year-round because they have the right resources to do it. And then the thing that I'm doing with them right now is it's kind of a form of bottle feeding. So once they're a little bit bigger and they're starting to eat seed, we actually fill up this little plastic tube with seed and then put some little wrapping around the ends so they can just insert their beak. And it kind of imitates how their parents would be feeding them. And so this is a good way to kind of get some extra calories in them and get them interested in seed and start to eat on their own. And you can see they already emptied out their little.
Oh, they did! My goodness, they ate so quickly.
Yes, yeah.
Now, these guys are still being tube fed as well, right?
They are also still being tube fed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the pigeons are some of my absolute favorite patients. They are just, look at them, they're trying to feed off each other. They are so incredibly charming, and it's an interesting thing that you don't see baby pigeons very often, and one of the reasons for that is that pigeons are excellent parents. They take such good care of their little ones that you don't often see them. But if you hear that peeping sound, yes, now that you know what a baby pigeon sounds like, you will hear that sound everywhere. I've heard them in BART stations in San Francisco. I've heard them in parks. You hear them all over the place. David wants to know what kind of pigeon they are. They are rock pigeons. These are your everyday city pigeons when they're little. Aren't they funny? Oh, I see we're going to team up on the... They're just fascinating little guys. So these guys will go from this type of intensive care, they'll move to a larger cage once they graduate, right, Lucy?
Mm-hmm.
And move on up through the system until we're able to release them, and we'll release them where they were found so that we're not adding populations in places where they don't already exist.
We can tell when they're done with the seed shaker because the puffed up part
oh my gosh, look at that.
It's called their crop, and it's where they stash food, and it actually feels like a little bean bag when they're full.
Wow.
So we can kind of monitor and make sure they don't eat too much.
Is it possible for them to eat too much?
I mean, they just get kind of weighted down. Baby pigeons are usually, they don't have quite as much control. They tend to get pretty excited. I've accidentally left one of these seed shakers in their cage, and they'll try and eat out of it.
Oh, no. Oh, they're so funny. I love the little yellow fluff on their heads. How long do they have that? Do you know, Lucy?
I cannot remember. I think it's a few weeks because we actually will have birds that are flighted that will still have a little tuft sticking out of one side of their head.
Oh,
So
no kidding. No kidding.
While.
When they first come in, they're all covered in that orange, or when they're tiny, tiny babies, they're all covered in that fluff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're almost the color of the yellow towel that they're sitting on here. And they're just the most interesting little animals. I just, I spent my entire life until I started working at WildCare without ever having seen a baby pigeon. And again, they are just some of the most charming patients that we have, and they're excellent parents. They're very adaptable. I know opinions on pigeons differ, but I think universally at WildCare we have come to appreciate and really just be so impressed with these amazing little animals. All right, what are you doing next, Lucy?
All right, I'm going to put these baby pigeons back.
Okay.
And then I have a baby jackrabbit.
A baby jackrabbit.
Yes. They are also a species that can have babies for a more extended period of time because of the resources that they need.
Interesting.
So we'll get baby jackrabbits in, like, November.
That's fascinating.
Last year.
Give you a shot of our bird room here while Lucy's putting away her baby pigeons, as we do at WildCare all the time. She's going to wash her hands now because that's what we do in the age of COVID-19 and also when we care for wildlife patients. So our next patient, in case you missed our little intro, is going to be a very special patient to see. And I'm going to talk quietly because I know that this one in particular is prone to stress. This is our baby jackrabbit that came in. Do you remember when he came in? She came in? Just the beginning of last week, and she's got a lot of energy.
I know she was actually not feeling so hot last week, and now she is doing quite a bit better.
Oh, goodness Look at this baby. Isn't she absolutely beautiful?
So she was actually dropped by a hawk.
Oh, right.
And you can see she's very jumpy, so she can definitely survive
Right.
falls.
If I remember correctly, the hawk dropped her very close to where the rescuers almost saw it happen, right?
I think they did.
Yeah.
We'll do a little
So we're going to do a little half cover. We may end up having to cover her more just because the stress of being around us.
And she tends to be a little jumpy like this initially too, just because obviously we don't handle them very much, except for feeding. And they can be very tricky to get to feed, obviously because they're shy. And they all have kind of different ways of eating, so sometimes they like to nibble at the end of the syringe, sometimes you actually have to put the whole little nipple inside their mouth, and sometimes they kind of lap it up as you drizzle it next to their mouth.
She looks like she's kind of in the middle with that. Oh, she's getting a little bit. I know that each of our baby mammals receives a very specific diet for them. It's one of the reasons that one should never try to raise an orphan baby animal on your own. The jackrabbit formula is very specific for this particular animal.
Mm-hmm.
And we have specific squirrel formula for our baby squirrels. Our opossums get opossum formula. Raccoons get raccoon formula. It's really a pretty amazing science that goes into the diet to care for these babies. How often are you feeding her, Lucy?
So since I just have the one, I've been feeding her 3 times a day.
Wow.
Because she came in pretty thin and not in great condition. Generally, we just feed them once in the morning and once at night.
How much is she getting?
She's getting, I've been doing like 12 to 15 cc's 3 times a day.
Wow.
Obviously, she dribbles some of it out.
Right.
And she's not eating anything else on her own yet.
Donna says she wants to work here. Donna, you can always volunteer with WildCare or your local center. Obviously, once COVID-19 and all of the shelter-in-place protocols have finished, if you're not nearby WildCare, look into your local center, or we will have orientations again next winter, probably in February, for our volunteer program. Our volunteers are an unbelievable resource for WildCare, and we miss you guys so much. So with the COVID-19 protocols, we're just have a few staff members on site taking care of our wildlife patients, and we are missing our volunteers. It's interesting she doesn't blink.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a defense mechanism, I'm sure. She's got her eyes open for predators. Yeah.
And too, sometimes we'll have to cover their whole head as they're just starting to get to eat,
Right.
so that they aren't obviously focused on us. I am her only caregiver for now, so she gets just used to me enough to want to take food from me, and then once I transition her off of feeding, then she gets wild and we can release her.
Excellent. Yeah, I know that's very much a consideration any time with our wild babies, is making sure that they don't become tame, obviously. Someone is watching us from Denmark. That's so cool. Well, we're in San Rafael, California. We're just north of San Francisco. And we're so glad to have you join us. We don't, I just saw the message from David, we don't currently have any baby opossums in-house, although we do have a mother opossum that came in with a head injury, and she has joeys in her pouch. So she is raising those babies, and we're taking good care of her. But I am assuming we will have opossums coming in very soon, with wildlife baby season starting, well, already started, as you can tell. We anticipate squirrels and opossums and raccoons, more jackrabbits, skunks. It's magical. Oh.
You're off.
Whoops. She is a jumpy little one,
Yeah,
isn't
literally
she?
like 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago she didn't feel very well at all. All right, everyone. Lucy is our bird room manager. Of course, she also does our jackrabbit team. That was an incredible treat. Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Join us tomorrow, everyone, for our next live stream. It's going to be one of our ambassadors. It's going to be our new opossum ambassador that you'll get to see tomorrow. So very exciting. Saying goodbye from our bird room. Have a great day, everybody. Stay well and safe. Thank you.